All right, guys, so we're back at it. Today we're going to remove this old oil cooler. We're going to install a new one and do all new lines. We're going to drop the oil pan and try to clean that up, get that old sludgy oil out of the car. And also I'm going to do a custom bracket that I'm hoping will move the oil cooler in a location that will not be in front of the radiator. That way the radiator could still get nice, fresh, cold air. And I'm still gonna utilize the thermostat and the remote oil filter location that's just ahead of the front wheel on the passenger side. So let's get started. Okay, so I've decided to reuse this bracket for the remote oil filter location. I think I'm gonna do something better in the future, but for now, I think I decided I just painted this and I'm gonna put it back this way, just so I have everything and all the plumbing in its place, and then I can kind of reassess the situation as far as mounting. One thing I did do is I removed the vacuum pump from here. I'm thinking about relocating it. So this is what the vacuum pump looks like, and it mounts with these rubber supports. There's 3 of them, and you just pop them through the 3 holes that are over here. This is a bracket that I 3D printed because I'm trying to see if I can mount it using the same mounting holes, but mounting it inside in the engine bay so that I have more space here. And again, I don't know if I'm going to need this space, but this is just a backup plan. But by removing that vacuum pump, I'm thinking I'm going to have a lot more room. I also, this was originally held on with self-tappers, and I drilled out those holes and I put 2 rivet nuts in there. So now I'm going to mount it. And for this, actually, just I'm going to use stainless steel hardware. The rivet nuts are aluminum, so make sure you use some sort of anti-seize or something, because you don't want them to fuse together because of a galvanic reaction between aluminum and steel. So I'm just going to drill out these holes a little bit and get the bracket mounted on there. Okay, so here is the oil cooler that I got. This is one of those eBay things. Hopefully it's decent. The quality looks pretty good. It's quite a bit heavier than the one I had before, which is this guy. But the biggest difference is this was tube and fin, and this is a bar style. It comes with AN10 fittings welded on, and I bought these. These are 10 AN to 1/2 inch barbed. I'll put those on the end there. And the good thing about these, it also has these welded bungs here for you to secure it. It's got 4 of them, and it uses I believe an M8 to secure it in place. Okay guys, I just wanted to show you the mounting bracket that I made to hold the oil cooler. So I used this 1/8 thick aluminum L. I got a 48-inch piece because the length I needed was like 37.5 or something like that. So the 3-foot piece wasn't long enough. And I also got a 1/8 thick by 2 inches wide flat stock, also aluminum. I think I bought about 3 feet of this as well. And basically what I did was I used the L on the bottom and on the top, and then I created these 2 straps here to space them out. I used rivets, aluminum rivets. These are 1/8 diameter. And then I used, for the mounting bracket on the end here, I'll show you what I did. Basically, I bolted 2 more L's so that this wouldn't flex. Originally I had this as flat stock, but the flat stock can bend, whereas the L doesn't. And then I spaced it out with just like the thickness of 1 nut, just so this wouldn't hit the radiator in the car. And that's basically what it looks like. And I still have to make a provision here to mount the thermostat. I gotta figure out what I'm gonna do there. But basically the way this works is I have 4 through holes that line up with these bungs here. So when this gets placed in, you just bolt it in place, and hopefully that will sit neatly right in front, or I shouldn't say right in front, but diagonally mounted on the bottom edge of the radiator. I'm going to show you what that looks like. So basically this brace here is to support the radiators. I took this out. I put a jack underneath the radiator so it don't drop down, and I took it out. I cleaned off the rust and painted it and put it back in place. And when I did that, I noticed there's these brackets here that I think they held either the factory fog lights or something like that, but you could see it already has like a threaded insert there and there. And the way this mounts, I'll show you on the side, it kind of sits flush to the bottom like that. Then I'm like, wait a minute, I want to hold my radiator kind of like at an angle like this. So I had the thought of just, if I just flip this around, so instead of being like this, mounting it like this, that's like, that angle is perfect. That's exactly what I needed. So all I did was I switched the left side with the right side and mounted these on. And these had, you can kind of see there, It had 2 threaded studs already sticking out. They were M6 size, but when I tightened the bracket on there, they were kind of just so corroded that one of them just broke right off. So I did have to drill new holes, and I tapped an M6 thread on there, and I got some M6 bolts. So I'm not using the original studs just because mine were so corroded and broken. And the reason why I didn't put them in the same spot is because I didn't want to cut off this weld there, because that does give strength to the part, because it keeps this part, these 2 welds, kind of connected. So I didn't want to grind that down. That's why I moved these inboard more. But let me put this back on, and I'll show you how the bracket mounts. Okay, so just want to show you, I got my brackets here, and basically the way this mounts, it's pretty straightforward. Just use those bolts as a threaded stud, and then it's just going to be held on with 4 these 10mm nuts. And I'm not going to tighten this all the way, but it's just for you to get the idea. Oh, come on. Okay, so as you can see with this bracket now, the radiator will sit, well, the oil cooler will sit below the radiator, so it doesn't really block air to the radiator. Before, it sat kind of like in between these 2 bolts here, so it covered about maybe like 3.5 inches of the radiator. But now it's going to be mounted like this, and you can see it's still way higher than the oil pan. So it's not like I have to worry about it getting hit with, you know, any kind of feature on the road. The oil pan sits at least 3.5 to 4 inches lower than this edge right here. So now that we have this mocked up, I got to figure out a way to secure the thermostat housing. I think what I'm going to have to do is one of these lines is going to have to go into this area and then do a U-turn and go back into the engine, so the oil return line. Because if I try to do something right here, I think it's going to be too tight, and it might cause issues with the hose kinking. So next steps, mounting the thermostat. All right, guys, so we have come to a point where I think is a good stopping point, because I am gonna have to order some parts. I'm gonna have to order the hoses that I need to finish plumbing all the oil lines. If I didn't mention it before, I'm using 1/2 inch ID lines for everything, and the fittings are all gonna be 1/2 inch barbed, also ID. So in any case, I'll post this first half of the video, and then hopefully those parts will come in, and I could put the second half of the video up and finish up this segment, and hopefully everything will go smoothly. Thanks for watching. See you guys next time.